the numbers currently still stand at 11. But however, 14 are still in critical condition and have been admitted in various hospitals following the tragic accident that happened there at Impala Shaft 11. We understand that the postmortems will be conducted on these 11 who have been sent here some 36 kilometers from Rustenburg here at the Majakening Funeral Undertaker and Transport. We understand that among those 11, a handful of them are from the Eastern Cape, some are from Lesotho, some are from one is from Carltonville and another from Rustenburg. We expect that the families should be making their way here to this funeral parlor to also confirm with the identification so that the postmortems can be conducted there. We spent quite a large amount of our time yesterday there at Impala, particularly at Shaft 11 where the incident happened, speaking to workers who expressed their state of shock and sadness following this incident. I mean, a lift that is tasked with carrying workers up and down the shaft plummeting, injuring all of those workers, about over 80 of them, and actually killing 11 of that number. And having also spoken to the Minister of Mineral Resources about the necessity for them to work together with mine management to do a full-on investigation to ascertain what could have caused this major fatality. This accident was unprecedented, and it actually took away from efforts to achieve a minimum level of mining fatalities in the country. And this has become a task that is becoming very, very difficult to achieve, as expressed by AMU President Joseph Matunjwa, who says that many of these continue to happen because of lack of proper adherence to mine safety protocols. And he also called out there that perhaps we need to see major consequences and perhaps mining companies being charged somewhat with culpable homicide for these deaths.
I mean, there's so many questions at this point, right? I mean, what are we hearing from mine management, Sintleing? And then also talk to us a little bit about whether or not you've spoken to any of the family members. I mean, what they're saying, particularly the family members of the 11.
We have not yet had an opportunity to speak to any of the family members of the deceased, but yesterday we had just a brief encounter with family members of the injured who themselves could not really express much of their feelings to us, as the news was still very new and they had not collected all the necessary information for them to create an opinion about what had happened. All they were thinking about is reaching and getting a hold of their loved ones to ascertain their condition and find a way to move on. But from what the mine management has said, that there was one of those roping systems that is used to actually pulley this employee conveyance, but it seems that one of those ropes snapped, and the safety protocols that were expected to stop this lift from plummeting did not activate as expected, and rather activated quite later than what was designed. And this led to that lift, that conveyance for employees, to plummet. You must understand that this plummet is quite significant, as these shafts are about 1,000 meters deep, and with this conveyance, plummeting, that sheer, what can I say? That sheer knock when it landed caused these major injuries and deaths.
Sure, it's hard to imagine what it would have been like being in that shaft for some of them. What do we know about the postmortems that are set to be done today, Sintleing?
Indeed, you can imagine, the state of fear and, the trauma that was experienced by mine workers. At some point, I had an opportunity to, experience going underground and being in those employee conveyance. It's quite small spaces. And according to the mine, a statement that they released just a few hours after the incident, these have got a capacity of about 30 or so. So you can imagine with that small confined space plummeting, and for some others plummeting to their death. But going back to your question, we expect that the families will begin to arrive together with a delegation from AMCU, which is the majority union representing workers there. We understand that they'll be welcomed into this funeral parlor for them to actually see their loved ones, to ascertain and, find peace in themselves, to accept that there are no more. And we'll see the postmortems being conducted there in anticipation of them then being released to their families.
Yeah, has management of the mine indicated when operations will resume?
What we understand and we know for a fact, operations were suspended in all their Rustenburg operations yesterday. However, operations have continued to be suspended at Shaft 11 where the incident happened, and 11C where most of the extractions of the injured and deceased had taken place. It is still not certain when the operations will commence there, as the mine management released in their statement that this will have to wait for a thorough investigation and report to be compiled as to the reasons for this incident, what caused this major mechanical fault.